Hello, everybody. Welcome back, and thank you for your continued support. I don't know how many heard the clip from yesterday's video, which Dan Wooten played on his show. I'm so glad he did, because the media is always taking notice of the more prominent staff in Harry and Meghan's employ, but no one ever talks about or even thinks about the others, the gardeners, nannies, and whoever else. The thing is that the top tier staff go on to open their own businesses, or they walk back into a well paying job, like Ben Browning, for instance. But it is the others, the gardeners and the housekeepers, who actually suffer, who do not always find another job straight away. The one woman whom I spoke to, and whose identity I actually verified at the time, had an existing health condition, but her health suffered a serious setback after dealing with Meghan and I guess Harry. She was also the one who gave me the phone number of the other person who initially was prepared to talk to me but then changed her mind. The agency through which these two women were originally recruited was also not prepared to discuss anything other than to verify that the women were registered with them. So at this point, neither of them are in communication with me anymore. As time passed and people came and went, they are also no longer in contact with anyone working for Harry and Meghan. So they have nothing to add to their own experience. But once again, it's the small man, the normal person, the average Joe or Susie, who suffers from this kind of workplace treatment. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation and those they, or then the Archewell Foundation, are affiliated with. I've looked at the Archewell Foundation's last two, or is it their only two, tax returns. The thing is that there are certain rules for foundations, regardless of where it was originally registered. One of those rules is that a charitable foundation should not and cannot donate to a political party or any entity participating in partisan political activity. The Archewell Foundation is a 501c organization, and I want to read verbatim from Clause 4. Neither public charity nor a foundation can pay for or participate in partisan political activity unless they surrender tax-exempt status, including voiding the deductibility of any tax deductions for donors after the surrender or revocation date. Now, if I look at the 2022-2023 tax return of the Archewell Foundation, there was a donation of $200,000 to Georgetown for, and I quote, to support grantees' initiative on gender justice and opportunity to build training. Now, although this may not seem to be partisan political, in my humble opinion, gender justice, whatever that may be, is a quasi-political issue. Then they donated $125,000 to the NAACP for, and again a direct quote, to support the Digital Civil Rights Award, which support activists working towards racial equality? Well, number one, that is definitely a political issue, and activism and racial equality is definitely not a charity. Charity is to feed people, clothe them, provide shelter, to basically contribute to the health, safety, and well being of other less fortunate humans and animals, not to fight for gender justice, racial equality, and to support activism. Those are issues discussed and dealt with on a political level and in Parliament and elsewhere in the same political sphere. They also donated $50,000 to HIAS Incorporated to assist with the response in Ukraine by providing services and asylum to refugees. A little political to openly choose sides, don't you think? And don't worry, I said the exact same thing about William and Catherine when they donated and visited shelters for Ukrainian refugees. So no, guys, I'm definitely not biased. They also donated $44,000 to a place called Purpose to explore, analyze, and understand the interplay between news and social media. Now, please explain to me how that constitutes charity. And if you think of the huge impact the media has on the outcome of political decisions and the way we perceive politics and political players, one could also see this as political. So yes, seen in the light of Harry and Meghan receiving an NAACP award at the time and their constant attempts at media manipulation, I would also say that many of their donations are more self-serving than real charity, in my opinion. Now, lately, we saw Meghan attending a Girls Incorporated chapter and writing down her infamous affirmations while the two little girls were drawing cats. I mean, Meghan really does not know much about children or how to entertain young children, does she? Anyway, in May last year, Girls Incorporated, which has chapters in many American towns, made the headlines when a former Girls Incorporated of Worcester, Massachusetts, began a lawsuit against the organization and its CEO for discriminatory treatment in January 2022, a year before top leadership were placed on administrative leave amid program closures, and a petition was launched claiming widespread racial discrimination at the non-profit. Jamel de Pasquale was hired as a business manager in 2018. She alleged that discriminatory treatment was an issue since she was hired by Girls Incorporated. In a lawsuit, Jamel claimed that Girls Incorporated and CEO Victoria Waterman, 1, failed to treat her race and or color in a neutral manner, 2, subjected her to unequal and unfair terms and conditions to her employment, 3, created, enforced, or allowed policies and practices that have disproportionately affected the terms, conditions, and benefits of employment with respect to Jamel, subjected her to routine micro and macro aggressions, treated Jamal and other black colleagues as second-class or token employees, retaliated against Jamal for reporting the disparate treatment in the workplace, and asserted her right to non-discriminatory treatment. The complaint also alleged that Chief Operating Officer Alison James ignored Jamal and treated her differently from white colleagues. In August 2023, Girls Incorporated resolved the issue with Jamal after a number of staffers resigned or were fired. So once again, it is clear that Megan does not do her homework. The thing is that also, once again, one can say that the guilty parties were a few out of many. But in light of Megan's playing the race card regularly or whenever it suits her, one would think that she would stay far away from such controversy, at least until the dust settles, which it hasn't yet, as there are also accusations of children of color being treated differently, which, as far as I can see, has not been resolved yet. So there is that. Anyway, guys, I just want to point out to you that I was indeed right. In the 2022-23 tax return, it clearly shows that Beth Herrely is not employed directly by Harry and Meghan, but that she is indeed contracted to them through her business and paid by the Archewell Foundation. My question is, however, whether that is actually correct, because it appears that she's acting more as a PA to Harry than working for Archewell, seeing that she accompanied him to the Invictus Games and lately to Lesotho in South Africa. But, anyway, that is likely why she is still around. Megan can't fire her. Okay, guys, I'm off. After temperatures in the high 30s, it turned cold again yesterday, and I had to pull a jersey out of retirement again. Today's a bright day, but the wind chill has my teeth clattering. All way too strange for this time of the year. But anyway, with a major repair going on out front, everything is layered in dust. So guess what Bookworm will be doing this afternoon? So let me get on with it, and please, my dears, take care of yourselves until we meet again on the next one. Bye.